Jon Hamm, who was the first subject of our inaugural episode of The Nerve. So forever a special place, John. We covered his college hazing of a frat pledge in which he allegedly viciously beat this kid to within an inch of his life, almost lost an organ, dragged the kid around with a claw hammer by the genitals, set him on fire, got away with it. That kid grew up to become a doctor and a lawyer. Jon Hamm grew up to become an actor. Professionally handsome, I call him. I think he's a piece of shit. And you're going to see it in this W magazine little thing he sat for. I guess he did a feature with them. And, now like print outlets always do video stuff for digital. And he's sitting there with his hair and his, and he's just he can't help himself. This guy can't help himself. Like this, I know, I think I'm right about this guy. Again, just my opinion, but like the smarm and the contempt is just oozing out of his pores. It's like oozing. And we're going to talk about the woman doing this interview because you're going to hear a lot of ambient laughter for like no reason, none. And he's like kind of looking at her like, why the fuck are you laughing? That's not funny. So anyway, W Magazine titled this like 7-minute short, Jon Hamm. This is the headline, Jon Hamm on making bad. I mean, again, they're always telling us who they are. Jon Hamm on making bad behavior look good. Let's go.
I'm loyal. I'm very self-reliant. I'm not like needy like a cat. I'm very like, I'm good. I'll just be over here wagging my tail.
That was John on whether he'd want to be a cat or a dog. I mean, who's asking these questions? But anyway, Jon Hamm gets it wrong. Jon Hamm, who likes to fashion himself as being one of the smarter actors in Hollywood because he went to college. Okay. I don't know that he graduated after that hazing incident. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but he says that cats are needy. I mean, you're a dummy. Cats are the most independent, domesticated animal of all. You can leave a cat away. Sorry, you could go away for several days and leave a cat alone and with food, water, and a litter box, and the cat will be fine. You cannot do the same with a dog. Dogs are needy. Dogs are needy. Okay. But his interviewer sat there and laughed like Jon Hamm is Dave fucking Chappelle. Okay, let's hear John on being quote unquote charming.
I love your character. He's very charming. And you don't think he's charming?
No, I do. That was me being charming about me being charming.
Okay, if you're listening to this, I would encourage you to go look at this part of the show because when she says, I love your character, I find him very charming, his face is literally like, what the fuck? Like you have a fundamental misreading of my character. And I'm going to employ that dually, okay? The character that Jon Hamm is playing and Jon Hamm's actual character, because I know my opinion. I think that Jon Hamm knows that he's playing a piece of shit and that people want to overlook that because he's so handsome. And I think that Jon Hamm knows that he's also a piece of shit and that people like his pathetic interviewer over there who's laughing as he's making a face to her that's like, fuck you. You are so dumb. I can't even believe it. And you're laughing at me still. Jon Hamm also knows that he is a piece of shit. Okay, now here's John on making said bad behavior look attractive.
You are incredibly good at making bad behavior look attractive.
Well, my wife might have an opinion about this a little more than I. I think that we all are the sum of our decisions, good and bad. And I think people can relate to making bad decisions. Of course, we all have made them in our lives. I think that the crux of drama sometimes is people making bad decisions. My history of characters certainly aren't exactly saints. They're more on the sinner side of the equation, but that's fun to watch. And it's certainly fun to play. Superman can be kind of boring.
Okay, I'm just going to say this again. These guys, they always hide in plain sight. Jon Hamm always plays assholes. As I said in the first episode of The Nerve, he even turned his FBI character in The Town, Ben Affleck's The Town, great movie. He even turned that guy into an asshole. I think Jon Hamm is a limited actor who plays himself. Just my opinion. Two more notes on that. The off-screen female voice belongs to Lynn Hirschberg. She has been a celebrity gadfly / reporter for decades now. I mean, I grew up reading her. And her sycophancy, even then, was unbearable. And hearing her laugh at every single thing Jon Hamm says is, no matter how he's looking at her, how he's talking to her, his demeanor, he's like, stop being so obsequious. For a celebrity to want someone talking to them to be a little less obsequious means you are insufferable, okay? Means you are a star fucker nonpareil. Okay, and by the way, with Jon Hamm, that is likely a hairpiece. That is or a hair transplant. He's a 50-something-year-old man. They don't typically have full heads of hair like that. He is probably, I'm going to guess, wearing foundational garments that may or may not be sucking him in properly, hence the framing. You know, it's all make-believe, Lynn. It's all make-believe. It's all smoke and mirrors, in my opinion, and I think he's showing you he's a terrible person. So, Lynn, get a hold of yourself. Go find your dignity wherever you left it behind like decades ago. Viewer comments on that YouTube clip, okay? I'm quoting, making bad behavior look good. Like when he set someone on fire in college. You're a troublemaker. If you're not, come over here with us. Another, Hamm has had multiple accounts of acting that way during his college time, allegedly, and can only describe the whole thing as, and this is correct because I quoted it in our first episode, a bummer of a thing that happened. Troublemaker 2, over this way.